up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver, and whenever I'm back home in the shack, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Hey, what's up? It's your guy, Greg Gray. This is Dope Living TV Live. Let me start off by saying the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. Man, we got a lot to do tonight, all right? We're going to be discussing the presidential election that's coming up. And what we have today are a variety of voices, I'll call it, a variety of voices that are going to have opinions on what they think are going to be topics that need to be covered by each candidate. Let me bring my Gina on here. What's up, Gina? You're muted.
I know. That's why I didn't say anything. I'm like, you're not gonna get me. What's up, bro? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, man.
But I'm gonna say this. I'm excited to have all of the guests on that we have on. We need to get out and vote, people. Get out and vote. We have a right to vote, and everyone should be exercising their right to vote. And one of the things that we plan on doing today is actually giving you information from all sides, the liberal side, the Republican side, the Democrat side, the Kamala Harris side, the Donald Trump side, to give you the information to make an educated decision so that you will go to the polls educated and knowing that you're voting for the right person for your household. All right? A lot of guests. We're going to bring them on soon, but I know you have a few announcements to make, brother.
Yeah, real quick, man. I'm wearing this because, what's going on, Teddy? Classmate, okay? Juan Murillo, come on, bro. We got, it seems like we're doing this every day now, okay? I don't want to do it, want to continue to do it, but, it is what it is. We have to give our condolences to my man, Pete Rose, all right? Yes, he did a lot, and they stripped everything from him, but we can't take away the player that he was, all right? So condolences to Pete Rose. He died. This is what I'm wearing, the Cincinnati 4. Also, John Amos. Now, I don't know. They said that he died in August, okay, but everybody's announcing it today. To my knowledge, he died in August, but the family was grieving, and they just wanted to grieve, and now they're announcing it. But whatever the case may be, he's passed, and our condolences to the family on that aspect as well. Gina, we got some other stuff that we want to take care of real quick.
Yes. Oh, don't forget, it's Jimmy Carter's birthday.
That's right.
100 years old.
Oh,
not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah.
100 years old. Yes.
And the other thing I want to mention too is that a lot of these gentlemen, they died in their 80s. Okay, they lived a great life. Okay, a lot of people don't make it to the 80s. So hey, man, it's there. What's going on, Mo?
What's going on, family?
Hey, Mo, welcome, Mo.
Let's get it.
Stationary today.
Got no cars running by the side of me.
Let's get it, Jim.
Awesome. Yes. Well, we're gonna start off with a good friend of mine that I met in Las Vegas. He actually came out and supported Distinguished Authors Guild, and I really appreciate him. Him and I and Robert went out to lunch. We had a good talk. He's doing a lot of things. He's also an author. Let's bring on my friend Mark Henneman.
Now, Mark says he can't hear us, but we can hear him. So you might have to help him out. All right. Hopefully.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Mark.
Yeah.
You can hear me?
We hear you, Mark.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
We hear you.
That's
Awesome.
fix the problem.
Cool.
Welcome, Mark. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you.
And then we also have another. He's actually a friend of Mark. So this is my first time meeting him, and it's going to be a pleasure to speak with him. We also have Vince. Let's bring Vince on.
What's going on,
Hey
Vince?
there, Vince.
Howdy, everybody. You know, before when you talked about you giving your congratulations or condolences, you guys missed Otis Davis. Am I the only one here who's old enough to remember Otis Davis?
No, you're right. He's right.
Yeah, I did about a week ago.
Oh,
Well, we gotta mention
we don't like it when we have to make those announcements, those type of announcements, because these are icons, and even though we feel like they're going to live forever, they're not going to live forever. But they live forever in our minds, in our thoughts, in our books, and all the things that they've done, because they've all done some great things.
Well, Chris Christopherson died today.
Yesterday.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Go ahead, Gina. Let's get him in.
Yep, we're going to bring on our next guest, very good friend of mine, and you guys will recognize her because she is not a stranger to Dope Living TV. My very fine friend, Valerie Kim Davis, author, entrepreneur, activist, everything. She got a whole plethora of things up under her name.
And grandmother.
Grandmother?
And brand new grandmother. Yeah, she's expecting her first grandchild.
All right.
How exciting is that?
Yeah.
And another person who is not a stranger to any of you guys, my good friend. She is so supportive. I love her to death. Danny Smith Mathis. Yeah. Hey, Danny.
Hey there, y'all. What's going on?
It is so wonderful to have you guys on. This is something that needs to be talked about. But before we even get started, I want to talk about a book that's out that was written by Mark, Vince, and Irma. Irma is Mark's wife. And this book is called The Trial of Hanoi Jane. I know a little bit about the backstory of Jane Fonda and this whole big thing that happened with her. This was back, I think, sometime in the 70s when, she was really an activist for Vietnam. But I'm not going to spoil that. I want you, Vince, you and Mark, to talk about this book a little bit and to tell us a little bit about it.
Mark, you want to start off?
I'll start if you want, sure. Okay. In the summer of 1972, the government of North Vietnam invited Jane Fonda to go visit their country. She accepted. She went over there in July of 72. She made a series of speeches, which were broadcast on Radio Hanoi, and they were directed to our fighting men and women in Vietnam. Just before she left, she went to visit a North Vietnamese anti-aircraft gun, sat at the gun where the gunner would sit, had several pictures taken of her, and came back to New York. The U.S. government, President Nixon and the Attorney General, debated quite a bit about whether they should arrest her for treason when she came back. They finally decided not to. What the book does is answer the question, we hope, what if they did arrest her and put her on trial?
Interesting. Jane Fonda was a high-profile person at the time.
Yes, very much so.
And this was a really big issue. And actually, they wanted to charge her with treason.
Yeah,
but
they thought about it.
Yeah.
Finally decided not to. So, Vince and I did, and Irma, we all decided, well, what if they did? What would have happened? What would the trial be like? You know, I wrote the beginning of it. I wrote the prologue. I wrote the beginning of it. Vince wrote the trial, and I wrote it.
And this is fiction.
Partly. The beginning of it is truth. Her trip to North Vietnam, that's all true.
Okay.
Until she gets back and gets arrested, then it becomes fiction.
Okay. Where can we find the book, Vince?
It's not published yet. I wish.
Oh, you guys are still working on it.
For a publisher, we're exploring different options in that regard. hopefully we can get it out soon. It's been written for a while, so I'd like to get it out soon.
Okay. Awesome. Well, let us know when that book is published, and then we'll let everyone know where they can purchase it.
Definitely will.
Great job, you guys. Great
Yes,
job.
thank you. Thank you.
Well, I want to turn to Valerie. Valerie, you have you're a poet, you're an author, you're a mother, you're a soon-to-be grandmother. Like I said, you have all these titles next to your name, but there's a poem that you want to share with everyone. So I'm going to give you the stage so that you go ahead and give your poem.
Okay, it's my pleasure. So, the poem is "It Couldn't Be Done." I hope you all can still hear me.
We do.
Because I'm reading from out of my phone. You know, today we don't print out papers, we just read from our phones. So that's what I'm doing here.
Sure.
And it goes like this. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but with her chucks and 20 pearls, she replied that maybe it couldn't, but she wouldn't say so till she stood up and bucked up and tried. Despite bitter, twisted lies, she fought back with a demure smirk, wink, and a grin. Her face signaled, no worries, as Vice President, I did it. A steady, strong swing, how she tackled the thing as Biden and the delegates' home run out the park hit it. Somebody scoffed, oh, you'll never do that. Shirley Chisholm, Geraldine Ferraro, and
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost you, Val. Oh man, I was just getting into it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that poem is published. I wanted to ask her if it was published.
And copyright. Well,
we hear you now.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to it again. I don't know if I'm gonna weave in and out because I'm not, you know what I'm saying, but I'll go back. So it says, somebody scoffed, you'll never do that. Shirley Chisholm, Geraldine Ferrara, and Hillary Clinton did not do it. As she unclenched her teeth, truth to power, she did speak. This election, that convicted felon will not see. And for certain, the goofy Trumpster knew he absolutely blew it. Kamala took some hits to the chin, but to the Trumpster chagrin, without doubt or delay, the DNC 2024 Chicago did it. Blue suited to tackle another black job poses an impossible thing. Casting roll call, delegates votes for her and Governor Tim Walz to do it. Do something. Help folks get a voting plan. The ballot or democracy's burial is literally in our hands. Selah. There are millions to debate, but it cannot be done. MAGA elephants with their gone with the wind memories will profit like failure. Insurrectors who promote profit.
Yeah, when she goes black, we lose her. Okay, so you know,
yeah.
Valerie, why don't you do a video and just make it and post it, and we'll share it because you keep blacking out, and we got to get this going.
Yeah, we keep losing you.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, everybody say what's up.
Hey, little brother. Hey.
Hey, Gene, I need you to do me a favor too.
Mm-hmm.
There's one. Well, never mind. We got him. That's okay. Everybody say what's up to my man Juan.
Hi.
What's up, everybody?
Hey there. How you doing?
So
we're going to get this discussion started because everybody is interested in hearing all points of view. I would like to start with our liberal here, which is Danny Mathis.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
I'm moving too fast.
You're not moving too fast, but we want to get it started, okay? Before we get started, okay, want to know that, let everybody know just the ground rules, okay? We're just having a discussion. Look, everybody has their opinions. I'm not mad at nobody, all right?
And we're going to respect that.
I'm going to learn a lot, so let's respect one another. We may cross over each other. I may cut some people off, all right? But let's have a great discussion, all right? Go ahead, Jim.
Danny, I would like for you to tell everyone your stance on the upcoming election. And you got to take yourself off of mute.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I am a former Republican from back in the 70s.
Former?
I'm actually a third generation Republican. And so I came up during a time where Black Republicans were progressive and not necessarily conservative.
Mm-hmm.
My father was a progressive Republican, and he actually started the Republican Progressive Association in New Jersey. And so I came up I came up through that legacy. But then in the 80s, now y'all have to understand, I'm a baby boomer, so I'm an OG of the group, probably, maybe.
Not at all.
Oh, not at all.
Not
Okay,
even close.
one of the OGs, I guess. I don't know.
There you go. That's more
One
like
of the OGs. But I then changed to independent. I have never been a Democrat. I've never been a voting Democrat. So I am an independent, but I will be voting for Vice President Kamala Harris because I do not believe in any of the tenets of Project 2025. I just flat out do not.
Okay.
And I am not into what all that is about, which particularly get rid of a lot of the agencies that are doing really good things, including the National Institute of Health and the National Endowment of the Arts, Department of Education. Things are only as good as those that run it are. And like my soror, Jasmine Crockett, said, you can get rid of the bad leadership, right? So I believe that that is something that will be done under Vice President Harris's organization. But I also know that one of the things that's a problem, going to be a problem for this particular administration when they win the election, is that that Supreme Court justice, that Supreme Court is going to be an issue. You can swing the Senate, you can swing the House, but that Supreme Court is going to be an issue. So I'm also very realistic to know that just because we have the first Black female South Asian president of the United States, that's not going to just make things that are horrendous and would be even more horrendous under a second Trump administration.
Okay, Danny, I don't mean to cut you off. Okay,
I'm done. Thank you.
We want to keep it going around. Okay, so does anybody have anything that they want to say concerning what she just said?
Go ahead, Mo.
Hold on, Mo.
We got Juan going. We got Juan. Go ahead, Juan.
The only thing that I have an issue with was you mentioned the Project 2025. Donald Trump has already came out and said that he has nothing to do with Project 2025. He's already said that's not mine. Even though if he might know the people that wrote it, I think it's the Heritage Foundation. If I'm right, I might be
That's
wrong.
Correct. That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, but he has said that he has nothing to do with the Project 2025. He has his own plan, which is the Trump Plan 2025. He put his own plan out there. So, like, what you say, like, you're Democrat. Oh, no, I'm sorry, you're an independent, but you're going to vote for Kamala. I mean, that everybody has the right to their own opinion. The only issue I had was what you saying that because of that project, everybody has the right to their own opinion. I myself, I don't know if I want to introduce myself here, Greg, while I'm at it.
Go ahead.
Or okay. So
first of all, his name is written over 400 times in that particular document. He knows exactly what that is, and for him to gaslight, say that it's something else, that's all that is. So
I mean, I could write my uncle's name in something so many times, and doesn't mean that he's a part of it. Anybody could write anybody's name on it. Is what I'm putting.
Let's hear. Wait a minute. I want other panel members to chime in because I know everyone has an opinion on this. Let's move to Chris.
Well, hold on, real quick, because Juan has to introduce himself as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Juan.
So my name is Juan Murillo. I'm originally from East Chicago, Indiana. I'm 41 years old. Never really been into politics until I've grown older. I got more involved once I started having children. I started getting more involved. I am a Trump supporter based on what I've seen. A lot of the things that the media says, the media is a big influence on what goes on in our minds. If they keep repeating a certain thing, if everybody's going to say their truth, my truth, really, you have to think for yourself. You know, I don't listen to Fox News. I don't listen to CNN. I don't really listen to any mainstream media. I'm the type of person that I grew up in an era where, in my age group, really didn't get into politics, like I said, until we got older. I voted for Obama in '08 because I was neither nor a Democrat or a Republican. Growing up, you know, my mom and my grandparents used to say, well, we're Democrats. And when I asked them, well, why? You know, their response is, because we've always have been. And to me, that just wasn't good enough. So I went and did my own research.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to say I'm a hardcore Republican. I'm a Trump supporter. So,
Okay.
Go ahead, Jay.
If I just
Chris, I would like for you to chime in on that, because I know you have some opinions about the Project 25 and, you know, 2025 and some of the other things that was mentioned.
Can't hear you.
We don't hear you. No. I'll go ahead while you get your audio together. Let's move on over to Val. I would like you to comment on there.
Well, I think that all of this is not just so black and white as we may think it is. And I understand that there are a lot of young people and people of color who feel like Kamala does not support their interests. And they have the rights, because we are still in a democracy, to have their viewpoints heard and to see why. I myself feel like we're at a crossroads. So I cannot in good conscience vote for Trump because of his character. I think that it's not just about what you say you're going to do for me, but just how you live your life and your character. And for years, even when he was in real estate with his dad, there have been lawsuits against his father and him back in the day, where they showed that there was discrimination against people of color, even in the housing situation. When he was running, had that been Obama who had said the things that he caught saying that were very sexist and very disrespectful about grabbing women genitalia area, he would have never even went forth even further in the election. He would have been thrown out the race. I look at all these things prior to where he's at now. And I do think that since he has been in office as vice president, though he may not necessarily have these particular ideas, I don't know the man like that. I know that he says some things that are very insightful unto riot. And people who are ignorant sometimes take those things as a pass, and now we can be out and free, and things get inflamed.
We're gonna give some of the other panelists a chance to respond to some of what you have said, what Danny has said, and what Juan has said. I want to turn it over to Vince. And Vince, I want you to comment, because Vince is also an attorney. So I want you to comment on some of the issues that are out there.
Well, the problem that I have, a lot of the discussions that people are having, like talking about Project 25, I've never read it. I don't know what people are throwing it out there like, you know, they know what they're talking about. I think, well, instead of saying Project 25 is all bad, I don't know what you want to say. Maybe all bad and maybe all good. Most likely, there are things I agree with and things that I disagree with.
Hold on.
You're like real, it's real like choppy.
We can barely hear you.
Your audio is, you're having problems with your audio as well.
All right, is this better if I get closer?
Mm-hmm.
It's just going in and out.
Am I still
That's a
going
little
in?
bit better. Go ahead.
Okay, let me try to move closer to the speaker here. The problem with it, as I said, that I have with talking about Project 2025. It's not working.
No, go ahead. Maybe you need to log off and come back in, because the audio isn't coming through quick. But while you're doing that, I'm gonna turn it over to Mark. I want Mark to comment.
And let's try to keep these comments a little short, because we got to make sure that we get through all of this, and we got other topics we're going to discuss. Okay, go ahead, Mark.
Okay. Now, I've been a Republican since 1960, long time. I was the Republican candidate for Congress in the 2nd District of Washington State, 2016. Unfortunately, I didn't win. And I intend to vote for Donald Trump this time. And I remember when he was president before. I remember when you could get a mortgage for under 3%. I remember when inflation was under 3%. I remember. Okay, I remember. Everybody hear me?
Yeah,
no, I can hear him.
You're doubling up though, but go ahead.
Okay. I remember when we didn't have millions of illegals coming across the border. And I remember when our streets, and I'm not going to say the streets are unsafe because some places they are, some places they're not. But I remember when our streets weren't full of people celebrating terrorists, wearing keffiyehs and celebrating terrorists. I remember all that. And I'll vote for Trump again.
Okay. Mo, did you ask me what to say?
Yeah, I had some. Actually, I had some after Diane had made the comment. For the most part, most African Americans are conservative. We just don't subscribe to the Republican Party, and the reason why is because of the radical stuff that people like Trump have incited. And we don't feel like we belong anywhere near that party. I don't think, just like Trump's life has always been handed to him, you know. The stuff that he's gotten from somebody else. Just like the economy, he inherited that. And then he turned around and ruined it at the end because he wouldn't do what he was told to do. He was not going to do what he was told to do as far as COVID was concerned. You know, it could have been a lot better if he did. He probably would have got reelected. But I've never voted that way. I call myself an independent as well. I vote for the person that is capable of doing a job, not, people that I feel like all fuzzy and one on the inside that's going to give me a stimulus check. I've done my stuff with my book, and it is what it is. I mean, that's my comment.
So, Chris, let me let you say what you got to say. Then I got a question I want to ask everybody, and we'll quickly go around the room.
Yeah. So first, B. Christopher Lane from Las Vegas. Well, lives in Las Vegas from Gary, Indiana. I'm still on the fence on who I'm voting for right now. The thing that everybody's talking about, the Project 2025, that is from a group that's been a part of the right wing, the right wing since 1981. They created that whole project, that whole policy, and wrote Trump's name in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not defending Trump, but Trump didn't know nothing about it. He's been backing away from it since July. Because like Juan said, he has his own Trump 2025. When it comes to Kamala Harris, she's a good candidate, but I think it's more than her. To me, it seems like she's trying to take the Obama approach in this election. She's trying to take that approach because she knows that a lot of people are going to ask her, what is she going to do for the black people? And when they asked her a question, she gave pretty much the same answer that Obama did when he got elected. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm doing a whole lot of research to see what I'm voting for. I'm for sure voting, but it's leaning a little bit towards Kamala right now. But it's a whole lot of stuff that I still got to look at and research on her. I know about her, but I don't know about her like that. The one thing I do know about Trump is, and this is my last statement, what I do know about Trump is everything that he's done with other people's money. He's never done it with his own money. Even when he had the riverboat in Gary, Donald Trump paid for Trump to be there, and Trump had to pay him back. But he was filing bankruptcy to clear that money. That's one of the reasons why we have the bankruptcy law right now. But that's all I want to say.
All right, so Danny, you were kind of grimacing and moving around when Juan and Christopher were Christopher was talking. Okay, what's the problem?
Oh, you talking about me?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm just voting for what's sensible. I'm just voting for a sensible person. Donald Trump is not sensible. I can't do crazy. I don't do crazy.
okay, now
That's it for me.
let me say this too, okay? And I generally don't give my opinion about this stuff, okay? But Donald Trump, before he got president the last time, all right, Donald Trump was immediately put on defensive, all right? Immediately put on defensive. So, I mean, human nature is when you're being attacked, you got to defend, okay? Yes, he was in place to run the country, okay? But they kept coming at him, all right? So that's just my opinion, okay? Jenny, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to. I'm one of the questions I wonder is, I know that when Biden was running for the second presidency, a lot of people felt he was too old. He was senile. He wasn't remembering things, because of his age. He's up there in age, and that's one of the reasons he stepped back. But I don't see that same instance with Trump. I think he's a little bit elderly too. I think he's a little bit forgetful, and we're gonna eat dogs and cats and stuff like that. So I don't see. I'm not understanding why there's no difference in people feeling like he's too old when they felt like Biden was too old. Can anybody address that?
Yeah.
Well,
There's a whole different people, different partners.
Okay.
Let's do one at a time. Let's start with Juan.
There's a way different comparison when you put Biden's mindset and Trump's mindset. Yeah, they're both elderly. I'm not really sure who's older, but you can't do one and one. I mean, Biden can barely get a sentence out sometimes. He don't know what he's talking about. Trump tends to repeat himself, but I feel like a lot of elderly people do that. But the man is still sharp. When he was president, there was no new wars. Nobody wanted to test him. We were, some people may say we were the laughing stock of the country, but guess what? Nobody ever tested him. That's one thing. Our country was safe under Trump. Right now, this whole election and with Kamala, the one thing I want to say before we all start getting into it, when people ask Kamala, what are they going to do? What is she going to do to bring inflation down? Why does she always tell the story? She never answers the question. When they ask Trump the question, he usually says it starts with energy. We need to either drill, we need to do this and do that. But Kamala always starts with a story about her family, which, hey, that's fine. But at the same time, that's not what people asked you. You know what I mean? She can never give a straight answer about what she's going to do to bring it down.
Anybody want to rebut that?
Well, there's no rebuttal to that. I mean, what Juan's saying is true. But we also have to realize before Trump even ran for office, he was a Democrat. A lot of people don't know that.
True.
A lot of people don't know he was a Democrat. And he went on the Donahue show and said, if I ever ran for presidency, I would run Republican. He said that also. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of, like you said, Danny, you have to pick and choose. One, morals, what Valerie talked about earlier. Two, politics, what Danny talked about earlier. And three, you just got to really, the person that's most suitable for you, basically what Juan is explaining right now. So, I mean, everyone's going to have their own opinion about the presidential race. We just got to figure out the person that's going to, and it's not even the person that's president, because we need to be voting every 2 years in our local officials anyway, because those are the people that change the laws for us. So that's what we really need to do. The presidency is really just like a main event in WrestleMania. That's all it really is.
It starts at the state and local levels.
Always.
True. And people don't go out to vote for those elections. I just want to ask. I want to bring another point across, and this will probably be directed to Vince or Mark, or maybe even you, Juan. But Vince or Mark, I would like your opinion on this.
I'm ready for whatever you got for me.
You ready?
Hey, Greg knows me.
Well, oh, I lost my train of thought that quick. Just that quick. Go ahead, bro. I didn't
So
lost my question.
Let's talk about and Vince, you can start this off. Let's talk about the abortion. All right, taking away the women's right to decide what happens to their bodies, or whatever the case may be. Let's talk about that for a second, Vince.
If I can interject, I'm a lawyer, so I know a little bit about it. Can you all hear me, by the way?
It's real faint, but we can hear you. Just speak up a little bit louder.
I logged in. I logged out, logged back in. No, I'd like to think that our candidates are smart enough to realize it. But maybe if they are, if they're conning us, if they're not, they should know that abortion is a state. Any law, federal law, is unconstitutional. So if you're voting for a candidate based on a presidential candidate based on his position on abortion, you're wasting your vote, because any federal law is unconstitutional. The lawyers know that. The talking heads you see on TV, they know that. They're not telling you. It's talking points for both parties. The issue is decided, the Supreme Court has said, the issue is decided on the state level. And that's where your vote should be directed. That's the issue. It obviously is for some people, and that's the way it is. And if you're deciding issue, then vote for your state and local representative. It is an irrelevant issue for the presidential election.
But that's what they're running on. I mean, that's one of the main focal points of Kamala's campaign is abortion rights. But they have nothing to do with that.
It's irrelevant. They don't tell, and certainly in the media, the talking heads that you see in the media, they don't. They're not on the media. Just like the Defense of Marriage Act was declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court for the very same reason. Federal law, pro-choice, it would be unconstitutional. So, guys are just blowing smoke.
Okay. I get that. What? Go ahead, Jen. You got one?
Yeah, I remember my question now. I just want to talk about, a lot of people are saying that they want to vote for Trump because of the position of the economy. The prices of everything is so high, gas, food, everything has gone up. But a lot of people are saying, well, the reason behind it is because of the pandemic. Once everything shut down, and when we opened up, all of these different companies, they say, hey, we have to charge more because we lost. We have to make up for our loss, and it never went down. As far as you guys are concerned, what do you think is the cause of the high inflation?
I could tell you it's a whole bunch of things that were contributed to inflation, and none of them the president could control. First of all, we had ships sitting in the ports for months that couldn't move merchandise and move products. Second, we had I'm sorry. You had a question?
Go ahead.
And second, we had a deal where when we were, as far as the border was concerned, when we had a plan, it was rejected. My thing is, there's always been one reason or the other where they can blame the economy or what was going on with inflation on the president. They can't blame any of that on the president. That there's no way in the Sam Hill that the president's going to be responsible for all of that inflation that went on there. None. He couldn't do anything about it if he wanted to.
Go ahead, Mark.
I beg to disagree with that. I don't think that's entirely correct. It was the Democrats under Biden who passed the Inflation Reduction Act, poured $2.1 billion unnecessary dollars into the economy. That's where the inflation came from.
Don't forget that
4%. when Trump left office in January of 21. 1.4%. It went up to 9.1 under Biden, and now it's dropped. So it's only about twice what it was when Trump left office. But that's where most of that inflation came from. Yeah, we did have the pandemic. I agree, and we had a problem. We had to shut down a lot of the economy. I'm not sure we had to, but we did.
That caused inflation
And then started back up again. But
increase.
This stuff that Biden did was way unnecessary. That's what drove the inflation up. That's what had not only drove the inflation up, but drove the prices up to where they still are. They're not coming back down.
Could you say that the stuff that was spent, in Trump's term, as far as giving tax breaks and all that stuff, ended up on the Democrats? Did you say that contributed to the inflation?
I don't think it did, because if it did, it would have shown up by the time Trump left office. Like I said, when Trump left office, inflation was 1.4%.
I'm saying that was a cumulative effect. I mean, after Trump left office.
We bought a house out here, we live in Las Vegas. We bought a house out here with a mortgage under 3%.
Yeah, mine's just 3%.
I dare any of y'all try to find a mortgage under 3% nowadays.
They had 10% mortgages in the 70s too. That was common. 8s and 10s were very common. I'm not saying it's right, but again, that's the nature of the beast.
Houses weren't $300,000 back then either, though.
No, that is true. But if you adjust for incomes and inflation,
I don't know.
Same difference.
We paid $375 for ours.
Yeah.
So,
well, let me ask this question, and I want Danny and Val to take off your mics, because this is kind of directed to you, and maybe even you too, Chris. They are saying one of the bigger problems that a lot of people have with Kamala is the border issue. And people are saying that Biden could easily sign a bill and override everything so that border can be shut down. So what do you say as far as the border issue that's going on?
Anyone?
Well,
Danny, Val, either one of you.
So what I have to say about that border, I feel like that's kind of tricky, because America has very well been discriminatory about that border throughout the history. When it came to people of color, browns, you wasn't welcoming like that. You know what I'm saying? Haitians wasn't welcoming like that. So Mexicans, Venezuelans, all these people are brown people. And I know that the economy is out the roof right now in terms of housing, food, and jobs are limited. And I get all that. But we have purported ourselves as being a superpower. Everybody wants to run to America. Y'all know that. And everybody did run to America. Trump just, while he was in office, had his in-laws sworn in as American citizens. So that shows you, even as late as his era, with his own in-laws, his wife's family, they just became American citizens less than 5 years ago or whatever. So I'm saying, Kamala's saying that we need to use some wisdom about this border and how we're going to do it, because we still have that Statue of Liberty with her arm up in the torch talking about, bring me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. And so it's like a lot of people of different ethnicities, cultures have come, and now we're saying, we don't want you like that. Who do you not want? Okay, why do you not want them? We don't want you. We don't want you because the economy is going out the roof and we're trying to struggle to take care of our people. I get that part. But I think that it's a lot of stuff masked in that, and always has been, when it comes to people of color. And I'm just going to be honest with what I got to say about it.
Can I answer that? Can I say something about the border?
Go ahead,
I'm Mexican, and I could be the first one to tell you that you need to be careful who we let through that border. There are a lot of people that are military-aged men. They are not all women and children There are not just people from Mexico. There are people from all over the world. And suspected known terrorists have come through that border. We have to be really careful about letting in whoever we want. Because would you let anybody come into your home? I know
May
I
I
wouldn't.
answer? May I answer?
So
May I speak back to Juan? Do I have the floor?
Go ahead, Val, and then
We've
we're gonna turn it
always,
over to Danny.
We got
Juan,
15.
we've always had to be careful. We've had Cubans that came in that were part of the Mariel boat lift that were terrorists or whatever in Cuba. That's nothing new under the sun about always need to try to vet who's coming in. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? That is not new news. I'm saying, how are you going to choose who you let in? If you
well,
if you're letting other people in with no restraint, but certain people you don't let in because this is the fear factor again. They're rapists, they're killers, they're
they
terrorists.
are. They are.
Everybody that's let in is not no rapist, killer, and terrorist. No, they're not.
Yes.
Are they eating dogs?
Danny, I
They
want
are.
you to.
You need
Wait,
just because you don't see it on TV on the news. There are. They're not going to
I
report
didn't
that.
say
There are
that
some
there were
things.
not people but
Not what
that's
he
any
said.
I said everybody that comes in when Trump was doing this, they're rapists. They're this, they're that. They eat cats, they eat dogs, they eat geese that's running around. All that kind of stuff. When you do all of that kind of stuff, you put a fear factor, and there's a level of, I feel, ignorance, not to offend anybody, but when you do that, there's a level of ignorance, and then that causes people to have a disdain for Mexicans, for Haitians, for Cubans, for this one, that. And I'm saying to you, most of these people are black and brown people that we're talking about, period.
How is it black
Danny,
people though that's coming through
let's
the
move to
border?
Danny. Danny, I have a specific question.
Well, they asked the
How do
question.
you
Did you hear
feel?
that question?
I didn't hear the question.
He said, "Why?"
It's and black people. I mean, you got people from Pakistan. You got from known terrorist
They're
countries
brown
that are coming
people.
in through that southern border.
Pakistan people are brown people.
So
Okay.
what y'all failing to realize is this: the U.S. makes so much money off of immigrant taxes. They're never going to stop that. You can talk about whoever you want coming in from the border. The U.S. makes so much money. 7% of the U.S. money comes from immigrants. We talking about $3.3 trillion coming from immigrants.
Yeah, but what nobody's talking about is that we got about 60 million.
Exactly.
60 million people coming in, right? They're jumping onto the welfare system, and that's putting a dent on our system. That makes us have to pay everything. The working class, whether
but
you're middle class.
But yeah, on the flip side of that, if we let's take 2022 an example. Immigrants paid almost $580 billion in taxes in 2022 alone.
But
You know what I'm
about the
saying?
ones that aren't working?
No, but that's the thing. You're gonna have your good and the bad, because even if we talk about people that live in America that work and don't work, we still have the same problem. You see what I'm saying?
But now we got people that.
I'd like to
No, I get what you're saying. But it's always gonna be up and a down. It's always gonna be good and the bad. It's always gonna be.
Okay, we only have a few more minutes left, you guys. So we want to.
Let's get to what you were going to ask.
Yeah,
Danny.
I wanted to ask Danny, how do you feel that voting in Kamala Harris would change? What would change for us as Americans?
I don't know.
Danny.
I don't know.
She said she doesn't know.
I don't know what's going to change. I don't think it's a president that, first of all, I don't really understand how this system works. Remember, it's not the president. Trump, Biden, president's hands are tied. It is the House of Representatives. It is the Senate. It is the Supreme Court that runs this joint. That's it. Period. End of story. And so he is, whoever is a figurehead. And depending on what side they're on, will just be a figure of whatever is really heading the country.
So
And
basically, Danny, what you're saying, Danny, is this: whoever owns the House at that time, that president being in office, if it's the Democrat or if it's the Republican, that's where everything is going to swing towards. That's all. That's all that's going to happen.
That's
All
what's
right.
going to happen.
All right, check this
So
out.
is it a wasted vote then?
That's how it works. That's it. I mean, that's just facts. That's not whether you're
Yeah.
a Republican narrative,
Or
that's not a Democratic narrative, that's not a Bobby Kennedy narrative, that's not a Trump narrative, that's not a Kamala narrative. That is truth.
And let's answer that question. Is it a wasted vote?
So this is it. It is a wasted vote. Honestly.
And that was my next question too, bro.
It is a wasted vote because a lot of people think like when Trump lost against Biden, Trump was the popular candidate between the two, but Biden won the electoral, the college vote. He won that vote, but they don't understand that the popular vote really means nothing at all.
That's why Hillary lost.
Exactly, it means nothing at all.
It doesn't mean anything. So wherever, that's why you got electoral college and all of those people.
Yeah.
I mean, you got more electoral votes up in like a Idaho than you do in some major cities. Cities. But all of that is gerrymander. All of that is calculated.
It's only to whose benefit, because look at California, they have what, 50 electoral votes? If we went back to the popular vote, whoever California, Texas, and New York voted for, they would be president all the time. That's why their electoral system is like that, so that everybody has a fair share. Their voice is heard.
Unless you have citizens who have sense
the candidates
as opposed to
run their
campaign.
Well, this is going to be my last question, and this is. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you talking.
By the popular vote, then Republicans would campaign in New York and California and have more popular vote. They don't bother campaigning in those states because they have no chance of winning those electoral votes. But if it was just a matter of popular election, they would campaign. They would get more popular votes, and they may very well win.
Now, what's coming up is the vice presidential debate. I'm quite sure everybody's interested to see this. And unfortunately, we did this on the wrong day, evidently, because we don't have enough time to finish this because there's a lot of questions. We got to talk about the immigration. We got to talk about the wall. We got to talk about in depth about the abortion and this and that. So, Gina, I want to do this again, but I want to do it with in more than an hour's time, okay? Because an hour is not enough to take care.
We need a long time.
Yeah, not enough time to take care of this because I want, now the debates are coming out where people, the panel here are talking about one thing and someone is rebutting it with their opinion, and this is what we wanted to talk about. Okay, we appreciate everybody coming on here, and everybody needed a chance to speak and say everything that they wanted to say, but we wanted to give everyone some time to have their opinions heard. Let's go real quick. We got 7 minutes actually. Go around the room real quick. Say something really.
It's about 2 minutes each, you guys, or less.
2 minutes each. Just say anything. Let's start with you, Juan.
All right. So my whole thing, everything you see with Kamala, or let's just say with this administration, they let so many people come in that, let's take the city of Chicago, for example. Black folks are mad in Chicago because all the resources that are given to the illegals before the American citizens. I, in fact, say that we need to put our folks first. So I feel like they let all these people in. It was close to almost, and I might be wrong, 50 to 60 million people were let in. If you ask me, they brought them in to let them vote. Because what has this administration done for the minorities? Nothing, really. I mean, really, what can you really speak for that? What have they done the past 4 years? They asked the question earlier, what would change if she was president? You ask me, nothing, because they're going to continue the same agenda that we've been having the last 4 years. There's not really much of anything that's going to change. So
let's move on over to Vince. Let's move to Vince. We got to hear everybody.
Yeah, my only the thing I didn't really get a chance to talk about that I really would like to is the economy. The Democrat tax plan is going to just kill the middle class. It just if they eliminate the tax cuts, they're going to reduce the standard deduction. The standard deduction under Trump went to $27,500. That helps poor people. The rich people don't use the standard deduction. They do itemized deduction. Also, the rich people are capped in their state and local tax deductions at $10,000. Some of those guys have $30,000 and $40,000 worth of state and local income tax. They can only deduct $10,000. The poor guy who may have $5,000 or $6,000 in state and local tax, he gets to deduct all of that. The government, the Democratic tax plan wants to do away with 31 exchanges, which keep investment dollars into the country. They about 10 or 20% of the real estate transactions in this country are 1031 exchanges. There was a study by Ernst & Young say that these 1031 exchanges, which the Democrats want to eliminate, support 976,000 jobs in the United States. Most of them are middle class jobs, appraisers, brokers, people of that nature, surveyors, and so forth. $48.6 billion in labor income and $97.4 billion in added gross national product.
Okay, I hate to cut you off, Vince. I hate to cut you off, but we got to keep moving, right?
Yep.
I apologize. Go ahead, Chris.
Next time,
We're going to do this again.
Bigger.
Right. No, I mean, basically all I want to say is what I've always been saying. Once you understand how money is created, you'll understand what a deficit is, what it is. The grants, laws, all of that they're passing to get this military money. You already know the Treasury and the Federal Reserve do an IOU with the bank. Money is created off of wherever they send it to. Every dollar we create, we owe $2 back. That's why what Mark was talking about earlier, how big the deficit is and all of that, because of what we're sending out to wars that we really shouldn't be a part of. But that is that's not the main issue, but that's some of the issue why we have the deficit that we have now. And the last thing I want to say, the only thing that I've really heard through the whole presidential debate that I agree with is what Kamala Harris said, that when the middle class is winning, America is great, and that is true. When the middle class is doing good, the people that's above and below are still striving a little bit.
Cool. Mark.
Let me take up on that point about the middle class and Kamala, if I might. The middle class is not winning right now. Okay? Middle class go out and try and buy a house. Okay? The rate of interest rate's 5-6%. Very few middle class people can buy a house at that price. Go out and see how much money you spent on basic items 4 years ago by how much you spend now. Middle class isn't winning. Now,
but Mark, hold on, Mark, real quick, just to rebuttal you real quick. That's not what I said. I said the thing that I agree with what Kamala said is he's trying to get it back to where the middle class is winning, so the above and below can be winning.
Okay, but I don't think Kamala's policy is going to do that.
We got 2 total minutes.
Do that at all. And it's been shown by Biden's policies, which he agreed with. Biden gave us the inflation. Biden gave us all the illegals. Biden gave us, incompetence at times. And Biden gave us the intifada in our streets. And I don't want that. I don't want any of it. That's why I'm voting for Donald Trump.
There you go.
By the way, I also want to end on real quick. I want to thank Gina for inviting me to be on this panel.
No doubt.
Thank
Valerie.
you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Val.
Okay, well, I think that nothing happens in a vacuum. We didn't get here overnight. I think that Kamala, if anything, will throw a monkey wrench in the system, put a cog in it. If we look at our Supreme Court system, she will try to now put a little favor for the common man there. I always believe that all skin folks are not kin folks. Over 30 years ago, I was going off about Clarence Thomas every day at work to everybody that he's no good. And it is now we see that he's no good and he's leading and running the pack. If you have people who take a system that they're not supposed to get, the gratuities, I'm law enforcement. I believe in rule. $2.7 million he has took for himself. If you got people with that mindset, sex offenders on the Supreme Court, and there's no check and balances where they're now starting to say, well, we need to get more of these type of ethical people on here, then you're going to continue to have presidents say, well, I don't have to get out of office. I won't be impeached. If I get caught doing wrong, I can pardon myself. That type of mindset. If she don't do nothing but put a monkey wrench, because I don't feel like she is the big be all win all, but I don't believe that. But we need somebody to throw a monkey wrench in it and stop the madness for a minute so we can regroup and do something different for the greater good.
All right.
Danny?
We're going to move over to Danny. We have a few minutes left.
Minutes?
Ask the question again. I'm sorry. There's so much going on. What's the question?
We just want to hear your last words.
Real quick.
Vote blue.
All right, cool. She said vote blue.
I like it.
I want to, Mo, Gina.
Give me a few seconds. Just a few seconds.
Mo, we don't have the time. You got 15, 20 damn seconds, man. Go.
Look, I'm going to tell you like this. First of all,
go ahead, dude. All right.
As far as the immigrant situation, Trump created that. Not Trump created it. I'm sorry. The governor of Texas created that. He busted all those people out to those states and kept sending them to so-called, states that wanted immigrants there. He busted all those people to those states, and he kept doing it over and over again. You can't blame Biden for that if he's busting them out to the states.
Cool. Jenny, you want to say something?
I just want to say, get out and vote. Vote.
Yeah.
Here, we gave you information from all aspects, all points of views. Take that information. Vote for who is best in your household.
I want to thank everybody that's on the panel. Okay, we've had hundreds of people to watch and listen to you guys. So thank you guys for your opinions. It counts. It matters. All right. We're going to do this again. So I would love for all of you guys to come back. Seriously. And I'm going to stretch the time out. I can do what I want. Okay. I'm going to stretch the time out, and we're going to have much more time to talk about it, because I really, really think we were just starting to get into it. And before we knew it, the time is time to go. However the song go. Anyway, the debate is on. I hope everybody watches. Shut up, Chris. I hope everybody watches the debate. And I appreciate you, Juan. I appreciate you, Vince. Appreciate you, Chris. You already know. Mark, Valerie, Danny. I pronounced your name correctly. All right. Make sure you guys. I want everybody to go and watch the debate, okay? Because let's just see what
I'm going.
We didn't even talk about the vice presidential candidates and their opinions and this and that, but we'll do it the next time.
Because we don't know nothing about them. That's why.
Yeah, but we're gonna find out now, okay? But I want to talk about it, and please, hey, guys, I want you to commit to me right now that you're gonna come back when we call you.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all the information. Great information that was given now.
Done deal. This is Dope Living TV Live. We'll see you guys tomorrow, all right? Peace.
Have a good one, y'all.
Peace.
Thank you.